Welcome everyone to Mystics Outlook. We got Cardell Dudley Jr. here, Wilson Tarpe Jr. The Washington Mystics are back to 500 for, I believe, the third time this season. This time it came by way of beating the Seattle Storm 69-58 on the first night of a back-to-back. Tomorrow night they'll be hosting the Phoenix Mercury. Cardell, we saw in this one them kind of take control in the second quarter. And then again with the good third quarter. Usually we see the opposing teams, as of late, come out the half and kind of create some separation for Washington. And then I think credit to Seattle's bench, right? In that fourth quarter, they got off to a really good start before they started putting some of their starters back in. But Washington's defense kind of kept them in the game, so things didn't get out of hand. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Is again, I think for the third time this season, they're back to 500.
Defensive masterclass. They held the Storm to their second to lowest scoring output of the season. They scored 57 as their lowest output against the Valkyries back in June, and a loss to the Valkyries back in June. So, after the first quarter of the Storm, especially in the neck of Agumake, she came out on fire, man. She had 14 points in the first and 2 assists, 4 or 6 from the field. After that, they really clamped down defensively and played just amazing team defense through the second and third quarters. Second quarter, they held the Storm to 14 points, but most importantly, they held on to 43% shooting, and they shot 55% from the field, 66% from deep, and was perfect from the line. They also out-rebounded the Storm 12-4. 12-4. They dominated glass. They didn't turn the ball over that much, 5. And, the last 2 games especially, that second quarter has been crazy. They normally get destroyed, and that's pretty much the game. Then it's an uphill battle for the rest of the game, and it's just too hard for them to overcome. But that wasn't the case. They kind of flipped the script a little bit, not quite the same, but, they outscored them 24-14. Then in the third quarter, they just, we got them. We ain't even going to play with them. It was just a clinic defensively, man. The way they held them down and, just 14% from the field, man. 17%, my apologies. 17% from the field. The only thing that saved the Storm in that quarter is that they hit 3 3-pointers. They were 3 of 7 from deep. If they didn't hit those 3-pointers, it would have been even worse. Only 5 rebounds from the Storm. Meanwhile, the Missy shot 60%, 9 of 15 from the field. They didn't hit a single 3-pointer. They didn't need to. Their defense was so amazing. It didn't matter. They took what was there offensively. They moved the ball. They had 13 rebounds to the Storm's 5 assists. And most importantly, again, their turnovers were down. They only turned the ball over 4 times. And that's what helped them get their big lead. And then in the fourth quarter, nobody could score, but, it didn't matter because of the gap that they had in the second and third quarter. They were able to hold on and win by double digits, man. Like I said, Naneko Gomake, she had 14 in the first, finished with 18. She was 4 or 6 from the field in the first. She really didn't see daylight no more. I don't. The way she came out of the first quarter, I thought she was 25, 30-point game.
Nights.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it looked kind of rough, man, but they really, really clamped down. And it's not just the individual that was guarding her, whether it was Shakira or it was Kiki or whatnot. Nah, it was a team effort with the dig downs, with the traps at the right times, the rotations, closing out on shooters, getting the rebound, holding them to one shot. I'm trying to think throughout the season. This might be the best defensive performance of the season. It might. I can't think of with the caliber of team that they're dealing with, the players that they have on the other end, all world, all WNBA, all multi-time, all WNBA, all-star players, and the way they locked them up, it just shows you how good they can be. You know what I mean? And they should put in their mind a certain standard where, we could do this to this team. We should be able to do this with everybody. It shouldn't be this, and they come back the next game and team shooting 50% from the field and we lose. You know what I mean? Like, Now, keep in mind, this is at home. They play far better at home than they do on the road. So they got to take this show on the road. That's something that's coming up. I know they got a back to back. They got another one tomorrow, but this is a hell of a start. You know what I'm saying? Like they clamp down, and when you clamp down defensively, it feeds your offense. It dictates the offense and stuff like that, and it gives you energy. So I don't even think this is looking at this game. I don't even think this was a type of game where it would drain them, where they can sustain the type of energy necessary to try to duplicate this type of game tomorrow. You know what I mean? So just a hell of a win. I love the way they literally took the Storm out the game in the second and third quarter.
Like you said, I think the biggest thing was how tied together they were defensively, and we saw that for most of the night, especially in that third quarter. You talk about that feeling when you're trying to slow a team down. There's one thing of slowing a team down. There's another thing of taking the air away from them. They were taking the air away from the Storm, and you could feel it. Like this little ticker that's been going across here, there's a big name that's absent from it. They did a great job on Skylar Diggins in this game. Just to keep in mind all the pieces and the talent that the Storm have. For Skylar, I think she finished with 5. And she's been on one this year.
5 points, 2 of 10, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. She never really turns the ball over, but minus 20.
Yeah.
She was minus 20.
Again, that's just how great their defense was. And some of that little spurt that they had in the second half was with that bench. And that was with Malonga bringing in just the extra benefits of her size and athleticism at times. Kind of mucking things up defensively. We saw the Storm get some stops and get out to get some points. But outside of that, in the half court, Washington did a tremendous job clamping up, to your point. You saw Erica Wheeler. I mean, she struggled too. She hit some tough shots, but it's 5 of 14 from the floor. You'd love that. What you said about NECA, that's crazy. So that's Skylar. They're, to a degree, they're big three. Skylar's negative 20 on the night. Ezzy was negative 20. Neck is negative 25.
Yeah, dog.
Like that's a hell of a job defensively. And obviously thinking about both teams in Washington at times, how many times we talked about, oh man, they played great defense, but they didn't finish the possession because they didn't get the board. They finished the possessions. And that was the biggest thing to me in this one.
Or they play great defense and they gave it right back with the turnover, and that deflates you as well. The Nneka Ogwumike was 2 for 8 the remainder of the game after that amazing first quarter. 2 of 8. Yeah, man. If you take away Ezzy and Dominique Malonga's production, it's bad. It's a long ass trip to come and get beat down like this, man. Long whole
58
time zones, whole
talent on that team.
Literally on the other side of the country, dog. Like, woo. Man, so and this one gonna stay in. That's why you saw Skylar and Shakira going at it at the end, because she know what we saw. She know what it was. It was a beatdown. It was a beatdown, man, and they got clamped up. And obviously she's gonna be upset about that, man. But yeah, like the Mystics had a sloppy full quarter. They had 6 turnovers, and they had 18. You know what I mean? But the Storm only scored 16 off those 18. We used the team scoring in the 20s or something. That also can deflate you. Like the defensive performance that they had, if they didn't get back defensively and the Storm were able to score, that could have gave them life and rhythm offensively. And then this margin, the defense they played, when it looked the same, because now they're still able to score and stay within the game, and that could deflate you. Because like I said in the fourth, neither team shot well. You know what I mean? So that could have been their time to try to, try to get back in it, but they didn't. They held Washington, held serve, man. They did the little things. They got back on defense, and when they got back on defense, they didn't just stop the transition points. They suffocated them in the half court, and then when they missed, they got the board. They out rebounded on 44-28. Which and it's crazy that they out rebounded them by such a wide margin, but only scores 7 second chance points. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's normally bigger than that, but regardless, man, they held them to 2 second chance points because of their rebounding and their defense. And when you got the neck of Bumke, you know, Gabby, I mean, she's a bull in the china shop as a player and athlete. One of the most athletic, strong players in in the W, man. 1 for 7, 2 rebounds. That's on that, man. Dang.
The three of them combined for 10. The trio of Nneka, Gabby, and Ezzy combined for 10 rebounds.
Meanwhile, the Mystics had 3 players with double-digit rebounds. Sonia, Citron, the Rook, 10. Kiki, 11. Shakir, 11. Keep in mind, Aaliyah didn't play because of the rest. So it makes it even more oppressive, man. They really clamped down, man. Hell of a win, man. And it just shows they can win in multiple ways. Normally they win, their offense kind of just carries them. And they get just enough stops to pull it out. But this was a defensive win by far. And you got to tip your hat to them, man. But that's I'm not used to seeing Gabby with that type of production, man. She made, if I'm the Storm coach, I'm gonna call Gino here, talk to your girl. She need a flashback, so this won't happen again.
But that's the crazy part. You can go down the line talking about the Storm, the type of night they had. Like this, that's a rough night. That's a hell of a job defensively, man.
Man, that's when, like I say about college, that's when them next practices be life-threatening. That's that type of performance.
Again, I know we keep talking about the defense. 32% from the floor, 23.8 from 3. For the game. I know you said in the third quarter they were working on like 17% from the floor, something like that. And 2 of those 3 jumpers didn't come to I think it was under 3 minutes left in the third. So for a large portion of the third, Washington was working. So was that? You said they had 3 threes in that quarter? In the third? Seattle did?
Yep, 3 of 7. And the misses was 0-1. And so they only made 5 for the game. So there you go. He shot 23% for the game, man. And luckily the misses, they 3 of 13, but I'm glad they didn't try to shoot more because like I said, when you off. But then again, they didn't need to, man, because they was getting some solid production inside. And the way their defense was playing, it was going to need to force it, man. But the Storm, after the second, third quarter, they needed to try to get some shots up because they had to close that gap, and they weren't able to score in the half court, get easy baskets because the Mystics defense was so vicious, so just all over the place, man. So, man, it's great. And like we talking about the front court, man. We got to give Suggs Brittany Sykes a lot of credit. Erica Wheeler is capable of going on with Skylar Diggins, Tiffany Mitchell. She's no slouch. Lexi Brown can hit shots from deep. And clamps, man. None of them. Alicia Clark 0 for 4. Erica Wheeler had the best night, and she shot 35% from the field. Lockdown, dog. They did life in prison. Lock up, throw away the key, triple life. That's what it was like. No life.
And also, just want to give Washington credit to 20 assists on 29 made field goals. Did a good job moving the ball too. This is one of those games where we talk about sometimes how they leave boxes unchecked. Check way more boxes than not in this one.
Ball movement kills any defense. Because it's coming from everybody. And that makes it that much harder defensively because you got to worry about everybody because everybody's eating. And everybody's on the string offensively and they're making the right play. So you got to be on the string defensively and you trying to figure out what they're trying to do and stop it. And you always a step behind. And that's why ball move, it's hard to stop when you're moving the ball efficiently and effectively, man.
Again, credit to Washington. They have taken care of business on the first half of a back-to-back. Again, fun opponent tomorrow. They got to deal with Phoenix. We were telling you guys earlier this week. The task ahead. They got one done. We'll see what that looks like again tomorrow. But player of the game for you, Cardell.
I'm gonna give it to Suggs Sutton. Um, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, only 3 turnovers, 5 of 9 from the field, but her defense on Skylar and Erica, she switched between both. No life. They were struggling to even just create space to make a play. She was all over the place, getting the 50-50 balls, all that, man. The hustle plays, man. We got to give her props, man. She had a rocky start to the season, man, but it clicked, and she's been steady and solid ever since.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. The only negative tonight, 3 turnovers. Outside of that, there's nothing to complain about. Anything else that she did on that floor tonight. I appreciated the edge and the force that she played with. And I thought it was something that kind of helped her team. We saw earlier this year, there was a stretch where it was a 3-game win streak. She was going for a game. I think that win streak ended up getting snapped. But we felt the absence of her from that game, right. to your point. So in this one, is the opposite. Like you said, it's a rock fight, nasty game. Really stepped up. And we've seen that duo of her and Jade really getting comfortable as the time's going on. And, with the Leah missing with the wrist injury, I thought they got some solid minutes from the bench in a tough game too. But, yeah, definitely for sure going with Shug. Who'd you have X Factor?
I'm going to give it to C-Tron because I think, again, her defense on Gabby all around, was just big. You hold Gabby Williams 1 for 7. That's tough to do. And meanwhile, Gabby, she's a monster defensively, yet still give it 11 points, 10 rebounds, 5 of 9, 2 block shots, 1 turnover. It was a nice bounce back game because Nakia Jackson did a number on her in back-to-back games. And, and it just shows her toughness because, some rookies can disappear after that. That was, she put hands on her in a sense, man. But, she bounced back and gets another tough opponent and look more like herself, man. So just got to continue it. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to roll with her.
Yeah, for me, I was going with Sonya as well. Obviously, we expect the double-double out of Shakira, and credit to her for her performance tonight. But the 10 rebounds is huge. We already know what Washington's front court is like. That's what makes the front court a little bit unfair. We talked about Noah Lee tonight, right? They have a bunch of bigs. Got minutes from Steph and M tonight. But Sonya pulling down 8 defensive rebounds is huge. We know the size that Seattle has. You mentioned the freak that you're dealing with, the athletic freak you think dealing with in Gabby. Gabby had 2 rebounds in this game.
Yeah.
All right, like there's some things that Gabby's gonna like. Gabby Williams, you can look at a box score that she has. Too many, like I don't even think about whatever she does in terms of points. It's kind of like a cherry on top, but 2 rebounds.
Yeah, she averages just under 5. She's averaging 13.1 points, 4.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 2.5 steals. She was drastically under all of her numbers.
And that's one of those kind of swing pieces for Seattle that when they're rolling makes them kind of unfair on bad nights. That's the thing that can kind of give them a spark, and you took that away from them. Hell of a job. Like you said, still 5 of 9 from the floor and didn't do the thing we've seen sometime, the male counterparts do. Missed 2 threes, and we know she's a damn good shooter. Did not keep throwing them up.
Yeah, I know you ain't got it, man.
So, but again, credit to Washington for the win. They're back to 500 and 12-12. They're now 8-4 at home. Like Cardell talked about earlier, drastically better at home than on the road. Got another one coming up tomorrow. Got this comment from Area 11T. Nice bounce back game for sure.
And don't give it back tomorrow.
That part. Thank you. I was trying to find a nicer way to say it, but yeah, just. This is, again, the 3rd time you've been at 500. Let's start stacking games, so even if you fall, you're not under 500 again. Stack a few more. But we appreciate you guys. We'll check in with you guys tomorrow night. I think that game starts at 6. Care for Serena. We'll check in with you guys after they take on the Phoenix Mercury.